All right, well, welcome, guys. Welcome, Grant. Welcome, Carrie. And if you would, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, where you're located, because you're in very diverse sections of the planet, and what you do. What kind of work you guys do.
Thanks for having us, Ron. Grateful for you and this podcast and all the work you're doing for the environment. I'm Grant Kendzior, and I've got my brother, Cary Jack, here. We are both ecopreneurs, social entrepreneurs, activists, and businessmen. Worked in many different fields for years. Right now, I am currently in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, but I'm just a nomad who always working from one project to the next, all around the world, from Guatemala to Uganda, always just trying to make a difference on the planet.
Yeah, and like Grant said, we're business partners, best friends, and we've started multiple ventures together, failing forward throughout the while. And currently, Grant is CEO of Sustainable Breakthroughs, Chief Marketing Innovator of Sustainable Breakthroughs. I'm also founder of my own podcast and business, The Happy Hustle. And really, our mission is to help others, live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact, and do good in the process, and just really, use business as a force for good. So grateful for you, Ron, and your awesome audience and what you're up to in the world, and happy to be here.
Awesome, fantastic, guys. So, all right, we like to start off to like warm people up to you a little bit. Tell us one thing about yourselves that most people wouldn't know.
You want to go first, Carrie?
Now go ahead.
What wouldn't know? A lot of people don't know that I'm a closet potter. I like to do pottery. I like to throw on the wheel and make homemade ceramics.
Awesome, fantastic. And like, what do you do? Pots, coffee cups.
Plates, bowls, vases, you name it. Hey, just having fun, a way to create balance. It's all about balance, and it's a good way
That's
for me to balance.
that's great, man. How about you, Carrie?
Well, I put myself out there quite frequently on my website, caryjack.com, and throughout my, social media presence. But I think probably most people wouldn't know I could say, hey, how are you, in about 14 different languages. And I really believe travel and education through culture is one of the most valuable things that anyone could ever, experience in their life. And especially when you learn different languages, it really helps to take away that ignorant American stereotype that seems all too accurate.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm one of those ignorant Americans. I only speak English at the current time, so I
There's
definitely
still
feel
time, Ron.
that. I have friends who speak four languages, eight languages, and me, I'm just, I learned a little bit of German in high school, a little bit of French in high school, and then it's all gone. So I'm one of those
Yeah.
ignorant Americans. I'm sorry to
Well,
say.
you don't speak Hebrew? I see a
No,
menorah
man.
back
Yeah, well,
there.
I celebrate. So just off the record, but I celebrate all holidays, whether it's Judeo-Christian or pagan or more, Buddhist. There's not too many Buddhist stuff, but I like the Hindu things. Are also great. So I like to celebrate every holiday that there is because I do believe that every religion, every philosophy has at its core some kernel of truth that's worth paying attention to. And one of the things
Mm.
that drives me crazy is when we humans find any sort of reason and every sort of reason to cast this you're bad, I'm good, I'm better than you, and let me kill you because it just drives me nuts. So I like to study a little bit of everything, and yeah, I try to celebrate everything. And this time of year, I do have the name, I got the nose, I got the accent, but I'm not Jewish. I was actually raised. I was raised. My mother was Italian Catholic, and I was raised Catholic. So I went to Catholic school for 9 years, which is a different
Oh,
conversation for another day. This
poor
podcast, though,
thing.
I know, man. It was. I'll tell you stories another time. Another time, we'll get together when we can get together, and we'll tell
That was
stories.
beautifully said, Ron. And I think we're all connected, and it's important to celebrate everyone and for their differences and their uniqueness. So I love that you do that.
And just so you know, Ron, if you put Grant and I together, we'd make a full Jew because our mom's Jewish, but our dad's Catholic. So
Oh, so you
we're
got
half
both.
Jew.
You're half Jew and half Catholic, so you're both of them. Putting you together, you're
Jewish.
both.
Yeah.
We're Jewish.
Hey, it's Judeo-Christian for a reason, right? So same sort of guilt, man. You're guilty, guilty. Do it. Come on. What are you doing to your mother? Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, speaking of the mother, let's get into Mother Earth and what you guys do with your three companies, huh? Eco Evolution, Sustainable Breakthroughs, and the Happy Hustle. Tell us what it is, you guys, and what you guys are striving to do and how it works.
Well, really, the goal is to create more harmony in the world and using business as a force for good. We both have a deep visceral bond with Mother Nature. Grew up between Sarasota, Florida, and the mountains of Montana. Both the beaches and the mountain had huge, at a young age, importance for Cary and I. We want to protect it. And we saw the BP oil spill firsthand in Florida and the clear cutting in Montana. And there have always been people that wanted to make a positive change on the environment. And then we see the social aspect through our travels and just making you empathize and be human. And we really just wanted to, help others. And we see one of the root of all the evil is the greed in the business world, and how if we change that, we can really change the whole paradigm and answer a lot of the questions, to these places and these problems that we're all facing. So we've been focused on that. Cary's helping entrepreneurs find more balance in their personal life through the Happy Hustle, and Ecopreneur Evolution is really about the initiation of sustainable businesses around the world, helping people start new sustainable eco-minded businesses, as well as working to support businesses that are already started in that field and help the ecopreneurs as individuals. And Sustainable Breakthroughs has been fighting the plastic pollution epidemic as a company. We have been running for the last about 4 or 5 years now, Cary, and we've done projects from beach cleanups to consulting with major corporations to even our own product line of sustainable cutlery to get people to go plastic free, stainless steel straws and sporks. We'll have to get you some, Ron.
Yeah, I definitely love those sporks, man, and love those
Straws.
straws. Duh. Blanket for a second. All right, so cool. So this I focus really in on clean energy because that's like 90% of the greenhouse gases that we produce. Plastic, though, is the other piece of the greenhouse gases and the whole mess and waste and everything else. But on clean energy, do you have any stories you could tell about somebody you worked with that was taking off and doing some things?
Yeah, well, actually, about 4 years ago, Carrie and I actually went to the Inconvenient sequel premiere in Sundance and got the pleasure to meet with Al Gore personally, and he invited me to become a climate reality fellow. So we've been big proponents of fighting climate change in many different ways. Have been really up on the movement of all the different clean technologies in many different sectors, and really focused on the micro entrepreneurs doing real innovative solutions on that. And I've worked with incredible stories in Uganda of taking wind turbines out of recycled plastic garbage we've made, working in the Eco Lab. One of the concepts we'll hopefully dive into a little bit more is upcycled containers that, we build in developing countries made out of all upcycled material, as well as we're fully off the grid with solar energy, rainwater collection for the bathroom, faucets, and then using composting toilets, vertical farming, and a whole upcycling laboratory.
Wow, so tell us about that. Go ahead, man. So you want to go dive in? Dive in? No, it sounds great. Go ahead, go
Do
for
it,
it.
Grant. Give it to him.
Oh, well, it's a brainchild of an idea. I was in Switzerland speaking for the United Nations last year, met with some interesting investors and people, just barroom talk. We all put our minds together to go down to Uganda like 2 weeks later and take a shipping container and turn it into an upcycling laboratory. We saw great success in the community in that just short project that was just really activated. And I saw, the potential for how it can scale and go in a lot of different ways, and how we can use these vehicles for change, and really providing access to an opportunity to people that are traditionally marginalized in these communities. So we like to, I believe talent is equally distributed, but opportunity is not. A quote from Layla Johnny is really powerful in our life. So our goal is to bring entrepreneurship into these communities, bring the power back to the people. So,
And really what it comes down to, Ron, is just empowering ecopreneurs all over the world, giving them, like Grant said, the opportunity to create sustainable businesses and enterprises using our proprietary framework and the tools and the resources and the mentorship that really, if we want to change the world and implement clean energy everywhere, we have to make it, capitalistic friendly, right? So you make money and make a difference and focus on that triple bottom line, the people, the planet, and the profits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those three P's, man. I mean, that's always a wonderful thing, right? And the reality is, the great stuff is, and that's part of the whole piece of this podcast, is that the powers of the forces of nature that are around us got 1,000 times more energy than we need. We have the technology. It's here. It's now. And the great part is we could save money by doing it. So why aren't we doing all of it? And I guess that's a question for you guys. So what is it that you think is stopping people? And what are you guys working on that's helping to overcome that?
Well, I think it's private interest and corporate greed, Ron. That's what it comes down to. Private interest and corporate greed. Those two things are why things aren't changing, why you see big oil still reigning supreme, and why you see big tobacco still reigning supreme, and all these other, agricultural with the factory farming. It's all comes down to money and private interest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of good happening in impact investment and movement and from these companies in the right direction, but it's not fast enough. And we're still putting me before we, and we're all connected. I think this pandemic has shown that to everyone on how interconnected we all are and how we really need to work together, in every regard, and especially to fight for our existence. And climate change and clean energy is a great, way to start moving in that direction.
So, what is it that you do see that's working, and what do you have hope for, and what do you think we can do more of that's going to pull us out of this mess?
Well, I think, in my opinion, the best thing that's working is B corporations, holding companies accountable, and, having transparency and accountability, true verifying source for businesses. And, we worked with Florida for Good and the University of Florida to do some amazing projects around B corporations for the last like 6 years. Really been really activated in that area and speaking on their behalf, and working to become a B corporation again with our new entity Ecopreneur Evolution. And really think that models of companies like Patagonia, that truly serve a purpose. They are consumer friendly. People like those products better than others. They're worth the value. Then they provide that value and transparency, and they're clean all the way through their supply chain, all the way down to the farmers of the cotton up to the retail shops. Everything's clean energy. So to going that deep in the analysis and transparency through B corporations, I think is really what's working in the business field, at least.
And just to piggyback too, Ron, what's working is people voting with their dollars, conscious consumers, taking the power that they possess in their pocket and putting it into companies that are doing good in the world. That's what's working. And that's what needs to continue to work. And what we all can focus on is how are we spending our hard-earned votes?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of P's. So one of the three P's that I put out there, besides people, profits, and planet, are personal, professional, and political. So it's what we do as individuals. It's how we do stuff at our work and our jobs, and there's a lot of things we can do there. And then it's also our communities and what sort of impact we have, and how we put our actions and not just our votes, but definitely our votes as well. So yeah, you guys got it, man. So all right, so let's see. So, what do you think is the one thing, the biggest thing that somebody can and should do that would like take them on that next step?
I think Cary just nailed it. It's being a conscious consumer. In order, if we want conscious capital companies, we need to be conscious consumers. And voting with your dollar is really the easiest thing we all can do every day. Everywhere we go, from what electric bill we pay, if it's clean energy or not, or, if how we vote with our food and responsible companies and our diet and what we're putting in our body. It's just being more conscious and overall, and that mindset, and I think spirituality is a great way to help find that. Meditation, different ways for people start waking up. And I think this time in COVID helped wake more people up, but it's time to actually take that into action. And the easiest small step they can do is just shop responsibly, be a conscious consumer.
And I'll take it a step further. If they really want to take a positive action step, they can book a call on ecopreneurevolution.com and just hop on and get a free impact strategy session to talk about how you can actually create impact and income and positively impact the world in the process.
Yeah, and you guys got a special offer for listeners this month, right? Too. So what was that all about?
Yeah, we're, do these impact strategy sessions to really just help people kind of see where they need to go, reverse engineer the steps, and really start this next year with clarity and strategy. And, our goal and really mission is just to have more people serving the planet, and their businesses serving the planet as well. Even if you're an employee or just have an idea that wants to start a business, even if it's a hobby that you want to start, and, how you can be more active as an activist, we want to help you and serve you and getting that mission, accomplished.
Cool. Fantastic. So people can basically make that call and they'll get a free strategy session. How long is the strategy session? And
60 minutes.
60 minutes of your time. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. Great. Thank you very much. And it's in the notes, folks, if you want to take a look. And again, what was that, contact info there?
Ecopreneur Evolution. So ECOPRENEUR evolution.com. And you just click the button in the top right corner. You could book a time on our calendar, and we're here to serve and really add value. So this isn't like a self fest or any crap like that. We're here to actually make a positive impact on you and your business. And these strategy sessions are legit, really valuable. So take action. If you want to really start an eco business, this is the quickest way and most efficient way to get it off the ground in 2021.
Nice. Excellent. Thank you. All right. So most entrepreneurs, they've had their kind of dark moments where everything went to hell and they were down this deep, dark hole. And then something shifted inside and they were like, oh, this is what I got to learn from this. And this is how they then changed their lives. So tell us about what that moment was like for you guys.
I think this is a shared moment, Cary. What do you think of New York?
Yeah, definitely New York.
Yeah.
We were hustling but not happy, Ron. We were
Yeah.
grinding 6 months straight, working 100+ hour weeks, launching Grant and I's tech startup, which was a very, solid idea, quantifying feedback. And we had interest from IBM and Microsoft and a bunch of other venture capitalists. And we were soliciting a 7-figure funding deal. And we actually got all the way to the money where we actually earned the contract for the 7-figure funding deal. But we were just so burnt out and we weren't happy. And that was actually a catalyst and a turning point in both of our lives because, at that point we were sharing a little shitbox apartment in Queens, New York, sharing a king size bed, wearing the same suits over and over again, like faking it till we make it hardcore. And I'm telling you, Rod, this was the real deal. Like ketchup sandwiches, networking all night, trying to solicit free workspace from all the co-working spaces. We were doing all the things and we got all the way to the money, but truthfully, we weren't happy. So we had that hard decision, come to Jesus moment or whatever God you believe in. And we basically sat down crying over our little, wooden scratched up counter and just we said we can't say no to or we can't say yes to this money, and we both pivoted. I moved to Bangkok, Thailand for 9 months, and Grant went back and got his master's from the University of Florida, and we killed the business. And that's where the Happy Hustle was born, really, which is working more on purpose and being happy within the hustle, and created a whole proprietary framework around how to do so. But that was definitely one of those moments.
Wow. Okay. And
Yeah, it was, I think, the disconnection of nature. That was what New York City, when we got out of rhythm and harmony with nature, we grew up as these nature boys. We're here riding a subway around sirens and people. City life, hey, we've both been there. We're in many cities around the world. It can be rewarding and things, but you have to make time to personally balance. And we weren't doing that. We were trying to go upstate here and there, trying to get down to our friends in Montauk area, or trying to get out, but it just wasn't enough. Central Park wasn't for us as Montana people, like the green, wide open spaces. So, it was a big change for us, and it taught us, that's such an important part of our routine, is just really be connected with Mother Nature, and that influence goes into our businesses and everything we do, as well as if we're more centered, we have a more centered, balanced business as well.
great. How about other, not necessarily negative aha moments where you got this brilliant flash or something? It was like, that's the solution for us. You guys got any specific things you'd like to share?
Well, I'll talk about one skill that's just applicable to everybody, and it's an aha moment, and it's called the secret of sales. Sales are the lifeblood of any business, and in order to really become successful, you need to learn how to facilitate a conversation that offers an opportunity with your products and services in a non-scammy, sleazy way. Whether you're selling clean energy or a coaching business or for us, massive consulting contracts and eco labs to huge, global partners like the World Bank. Sales are the lifeblood of your business. You need to learn how to present. You need to learn how to build the rapport. You need to figure out how it can be a win-win in every situation. And that starts with aligning priorities.
Grant?
Beautifully said, Cary. Yeah, no, I think he nailed it. It's just so important to be able to be courageous, and I think sales takes courage, and, you have to be able to put yourself out there and really present yourself with pride and confidence and, those to really believe in your own project. So that's just the faith, Cary and I always say persistent consistency. We believe so much that we'll just work at it every single day until it will work. We'll make it work, and we believe that. And we're so proud of whatever we do because we're working on purpose. When you have that why and that purpose behind you, all of it comes naturally, and you should be proud of the work you're doing and proud to present it to the biggest people and think you belong in places where some people might not think you belong, and that's led us to the United Nations and global deals with billionaires and millionaires when we come from pretty humble beginnings. So, it's just really to believe.
Outstanding. All right. This is where we go into what we call the pulsar round, where we ask you questions and look for short, succinct, amazing, and mind-blowing answers. Are you gentlemen ready?
Ready,
Let's
Ron.
do it.
Ready. All right. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Everything in moderation.
You're limitless, my madre.
Nice. Nice. Limitless and everything in moderation. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Share, what are your personal habits that contributes to your success, please?
Ooh, gratitude.
Gratitude as well. That's all about gratitude, but
Gratitude.
nature connection.
Gratitude and nature connection. There you go. Thank you very much. Actually, there's a whole podcast on that, and this one doctor did this whole piece early on in the interviews, and he talked about how he brought kids from New York City, since you lived there for a while. These kids were on asthma, major medication. They were basically in and out of hospitals. Took them out, and in a period of less than a month, took them into nature every day, and they got off all the medications. It was unbelievable, the transformation that these kids went through just by connecting to nature. So it was both gratitude and that connection to nature that we all need to keep in mind, because yeah, man, it's where we come from, right? So absolutely excellent. Okay, an internet resource that you'd like to share with our listeners.
The Happy Hustle podcast and happyhustle.com. I think there's so much valuable insights.
Greatday.com as well. There's a ton of, I feel like Ralph Martin just nails it every day. 6 days a week, he puts out a 3 to 5 paragraph on just inspiration, and it was really relevant. I always start my day with greatday.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. A book that you'd recommend to people?
Manifesto for a Moral Revolution. Jacqueline Novogratz just wrote it. It's timely. It's written in 2020, and it is really the key to answering a lot of the problems on this planet.
I'll say The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. It's all about doing the little things consistently over time. The compound effect.
The compound effect, and it's zazen. There's a Japanese term for that. Little incremental improvements that always gets you there. So, excellent. All right. Well, if you guys could wave a magic wand and change one thing for everybody in the world, what would it be?
Empathy. I think if everyone just empathized for one another, we could all get along.
Yeah, I was going to say that too, Grant. That's we're pretty much in line there. But if now we had 2 magic wands, I guess I would basically say something to the extent of everyone having to answer for their actions with clear consequences. And that means the people who are cutting down the trees in the Amazon. That means that people who are emitting greenhouse gases, that means that politicians who are making shady deals. If I could make everyone have consequences to their actions very clearly, that would be beautiful.
Empathy and accountability. Hey, you guys are a dynamic duo, you know? So one waves the wand for this one waves the wand for that one. There's a stick, there's a carrot. It's a good thing,
Yep.
right? But yeah, no, it's a wonderful thing, guys. All right. So, as you guys know better than many people, but the reality that's becoming clearer and clearer to everybody is that all these greenhouse gases, as we've blown through the 360, the 380, the 400, up to what are we up to? 430 parts per million now in terms of carbon, and it's not stopping. We're increasing every day. It's fueling extreme weather events, more frequent, more intense storms, and just changing the whole climate. And it's scary as hell, but we can get through it, and that's the good part. But just sometimes we like to share stories about the weather and having lived through extreme weather events, and just wonder if you guys got a WTF or F story, a weather time fudge, an extreme weather event that you lived through, and tell us the tale, or a weather time fun, the most fun you've ever had, and the type of weather it was. If you guys got a quick story about it.
We got stories about all of that around, but I think one of the danger ones, we're Florida boys who've lived through 20 plus hurricanes, so that became a normal, thing for us. And then we just spent Montana this summer was coated in wildfires, and we're choking on smoke, and Cary was out there putting out forest fires himself, buckets of water, and going out there helping, and on the ranch making things work. We've experienced it firsthand. So
I'll say in terms of fun, we've skied in Chile, Valley Nevado on a pretty sick powder day with just tons of snow. So that's when the weather is working in your favor. And we were shredding some pow pow down in the south of the border.
good
Nice.
times.
All right. Sounds great. All right. So tell us, what's one thing you're most energized about today, guys?
Pachamama. Every day, honestly, I just wake up with gratitude and just love for Pachamama. It energizes me. I sat out my morning sun this morning and just taking it all in and enjoying everything breath we get to have and where we get to be in the planet. So just gratitude and Pachamama.
I would say I'm excited about you, Ron, and this podcast. It really is beautiful to see people like yourself just taking a stand and putting out good content and doing so consistently in an effective manner that helps the world. And I love to see the financial component, because if people can understand that they can actually save money by switching to clean energy, then it's a no-brainer. So we need to continue to shout this message from the rooftops. And I just appreciate each and every one of you guys listening to this awesome podcast, and continue to just do your part. And I'm excited about each and every one of you.
You're so kind. Thank you so much, Gary.
I second that, Ron.
You guys are suck ups, but that's okay. No, thank you very much. All right. So, what's next for you guys?
I'm working on building another one, Eco Lab, down in Costa Rica. I was just spent the last 30 days working on some sustainable projects in Costa Rica, and we're looking to build a new one there with some incredible new partners, and filming a documentary series on the way to really help showcase the heroes' journeys of all the ecopreneurs doing great things across the world, and really, making those stories hurt.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Graham? Gary?
in addition to helping, Grant and the Eco Labs manifest down in Costa Rica, I'm also launching my book, The Happy Hustle, next year, and writing a screenplay, which is having a working title called The Eco Warrior, all about fighting eco injustice. And I think through entertainment as a medium, we can reach a broader audience and really inspire action.
Outstanding, gentlemen. All right. A piece of parting advice, and how can people get a hold of you?
I believe the quote here: "The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it." You know, Robert Swan. I think we all need to be action oriented and doing something to make a difference. And you can get a hold of us on at ecopreneurrevolution.com. You know, would love to just sit down with you, all talk to your audience, and you know, they're green-minded people. See how we can help them, you know, amplify their income and impact at the same time, and sit down for a strategy session. So get a hold of us at ecopreneurrevolution.com. Book that strategy session. I'll get to talk to you.
Excellent.
And I would say my parting piece of advice is balance equals happiness, my friends. And it is true. So find balance both in your personal life and your professional life, and you will just flourish with fulfillment. So if you want to find out more about me and what I'm up to, The Happy Hustle is the podcast where if you like podcasts, Ron's going to come on and rock the mic soon. So, you know, we get a bunch of inspiring educational spiritual gurus to Fortune 500 executives to rock star entrepreneurs and everyone who's out there happy hustling and living a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. And if you want to reach out directly to me, you can go to caryjack.com or you could follow me online. All the links, Cary Jack. So
Outstanding. So, anything that I didn't cover that you guys wanted to discuss or share?
Be kind, everyone. Yeah, just do kindness will, you know, sound so simplistic, but get back to the basics. Be kind to one another. We're all in this together. We're connected, and let's all, you know, get ourselves out of this. We can do it. Be empathetic with one another, even in the people your polar opposite mindsets. You know, just listen, be empathetic, and we can all be kind to one another.
love it.
You guys are great. Thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, your commitment, your activities. You guys are awesome.